Hi guys, I'm Mike and welcome to Translating Love, and this is part 2 of our journey through the story in John chapter 9. So let me bring you up to speed. In the first part of John chapter 9, the disciples bring a blind man to Jesus and they ask this impossible question. They say, why was he born this way? Was it his sin or his parents' sin? And Jesus said, you're asking the wrong question. It's none of their sin. It's so that the power of God can be made known through their life. Well, then Jesus turns to the blind man, and this is where we want our story to start today. And he does something so strange and weird. It says that Jesus stoops down and picks up some mud and clay, and he spits into it, and he makes this paste, and he puts it on the blind guy's eyes. And then he tells this blind guy to go and to wash his eyes in this pool of water. Now, when I first read it, I just sort of read over it, not really thinking too much about it. But when I actually started to look back at it, I thought, this is really strange. He's putting mud on an already blind guy, which is a little bit embarrassing. And then he's asking a blind guy to go find a pool of water. It's a weird ask. In fact, it reminds me so much of Elijah when he asked this guy named Naaman who had leprosy to go wash in a river 7 times, and a dirty river at that. God sometimes asks us to do strange things. He leads us in our lives on strange journeys, and we might not always understand why we're going through a certain season, why there's pain or suffering or trials, or why we're not being victorious in a certain season. And the reason for that is because God has a process. And really what this is talking about here is that God is saying, trust the process. It might not look the way you think it should look like, but God has a plan, and that plan is going to result in 2 things. For this blind man, it resulted in him receiving his sight. But second, it also opened his spiritual eyes to see God in a way that he'd never seen him before. God will show up in your story, even in the weird twists and turns that you have. And it will allow you to, 1, see the redemption of your story, but 2, it'll also give you spiritual sight to see God in everything that you're going through. I hope you found that encouraging today. I hope it was a slight perspective shift. If you liked it, please like this video and share it with somebody else that you think might need some help today. Lord bless. Bye-bye.